Hey guys, so last video I'm doing this morning. This one is on the September TV schedule. All the boxing you're gonna see in the month of September. September is actually gonna be a pretty good month for boxing. So we're gonna jump right in, take a look at the first fight that's taking place actually this Thursday, September 5th. And it's going to be on DAZN, and it's also going to be on Facebook Watch in case you don't have DAZN. But I highly recommend DAZN. I keep saying that. People need to get that. DAZN is very good with their fights. So this one's going to see a clash in the 122-pound super bantamweight division. Two former world title challengers. First, Azat Hovhannisyan, I believe he's from Turkey, is taking on Mexican Franklin Manzanilla. These guys both fought for world titles against the same guy, undefeated WBC champion Rey Vargas. Hovhannisyan fought Vargas last year. It was a fucking great fight. He kept coming at Vargas all night. He broke Vargas's jaw to where Vargas had to take the rest of the year off. It was a really good fight. Vargas ended up getting a unanimous decision, outworking him, but it was closer. I thought it was closer than they scored it. But Hovhannisyan is just a straight beast. He's I think he's 3-0 since, 3 knockouts against nobodies. But he's getting this opportunity, and this is a WBA final eliminator. So pretty big deal right here. Trying to get in line for Daniel Roman, possibly Brandon Figueroa. Now, Franklin Manzanilla, he fought Rey Vargas earlier this year. He pulled off an upset over former champ Julio Ceja last year that earned him the right to face... No, it wasn't Julio Ceja. It was somebody else, Ronnie Rios. And, I don't remember. I think it was Julio Ceja. Anyways, the point is he got that fight. Really good matchup right here. Can't wait to see it. I'll actually give my breakdown on the fight. But this is a really good matchup at 122 between two top 10 guys. The next card takes place Friday, September 13th on DAZN. The co-feature... I'm more interested in the co-feature than the main event. Co-feature is going to be for the unified super bantamweight world title, the WBA and IBF belts, as reigning champion Daniel Roman. He's also my number one fighter at 122. He's making his defense of both belts against his WBA mandatory number one contender, Muradjan Akhmadaliyev. This guy's undefeated, talented, decent fighter. Roman has been the reigning champ, and he just unified belts against Dahani. He's trying to hold on to both belts by making his mandatory defense. I think Roman, it's going to be a good fight right there. Roman's really talented, 122, a lot of punches get thrown, so that's going to be a good fight. The main event that night is going to see Devin Haney, undefeated rising lightweight contender. He's actually fighting Zaur Abdullayev in the main event, and it's a WBC final eliminator. Devin Haney was actually supposed to get in line to face Luke Campbell for the WBC title, but the WBC granted an exception to Vasily Lomachenko. So Lomachenko, if he's got to wait around for the winner of Comey and Lopez, he might end up facing Devin Haney because he might be mandated to face Devin Haney. So you should check him out. Devin Haney is talented as fuck, though. He's undefeated. He's really looking good. I don't know Abdullayev, but should be a pretty good fight right there. And a pretty good card on the 13th on DAZN. That's a Friday night. Then Saturday, September 14th, you got 2 cards. First up on DAZN, you're going to see a doubleheader. Well, 2 fights that matter. On the undercard, the co-feature is going to see undefeated Ryan Garcia, undefeated lightweight, rising prospect, taking on little-known Avery Sparrow. It looks like just a stay-busy fight for Garcia, but Garcia's getting close to being a legitimate contender, so it's good, and he's entertaining as hell, so should be a good one. Then in the main event, you got undefeated 154-pound champion, WBO champion at 154, Jaime Munguia, taking on Ghana. I think the guy's from Ghana, or he's somewhere in Africa, Patrick Alati. Munguia, undefeated champion. He struggled this year with weight, so both his fights have been very competitive. A lot of people attribute that to weight because he wants to move up to middleweight. He says this is his last fight at middleweight. He's entertaining as hell. That should be a good card on DAZN. Then on ESPN Plus that night, on the 14th, we got a big triple header that, is going to be very good. First, the undercard sees a 140-pound clash between former 2-division champion Jose Pedraza and former world title challenger Jose Zepeda. Pedraza fought Lomachenko last year. He's been in the ring with Gervonta Davis. Those are the only 2 losses on his resume. Zepeda fought Jose Ramirez back in February and gave him hell, almost upset him. It was a majority decision loss for Zepeda, but this is going to be a good fight right here. I'm looking forward to it. It's a 140-pound clash. It's Pedraza's debut at 140, so it should be good. Then the co-feature is going to see WBO 122-pound champion Emmanuel Navarrete taking on little-known Juan Elorde. This is pretty much a stay-busy fight for Navarrete, who just fought in August, but he's really entertaining. It's Mexican Independence Day weekend, so I think that's why they're putting him on the card. Really entertaining fighter, so you should pay attention to that. Then in the main event, you got undefeated former unified heavyweight champion Tyson Fury taking on undefeated unknown Otto Wallin. I'm calling him Otto Wallin. Heavyweight clash right here ahead of Fury's projected showdown with our proposed showdown with Deontay Wilder next year, his rematch. So we'll see. Should be a good card right there. Then on Saturday, September 21st, you got I don't know if all 3 of these fights are going to stay on the card because it keeps going back and forth, but I'm hoping it ends up being a good triple header. First on the undercard, you're going to see former world title challenger Thomas Delorme taking on undefeated rising welterweight prospect Terrell Williams. This is Williams' biggest test. Delorme's in the top 10, so it should be an interesting fight right here. Then you got a super middleweight showdown between former middleweight champion Peter Kid Chocolate Quillen and former world title challenger Alfredo Angulo. This should be an entertaining one between 2 veterans who are just trying to hold on and get back into one last title shot, so that should be good. Then what I think is going to be the main event, former super middleweight champion Jose Ustadegui returning from his loss to Caleb Plant earlier this year, taking on veteran Dennis Doughlin. Another super middleweight bout right there. So should be a decent card. That's September 21st on Fox Sports 1. And then the final card of the year is on September 28th, and it's the best one of the year. It's Fox pay-per-view. You're going to have 4 pretty solid fights. First on the undercard, you'll see undefeated welterweight prospect Mario Barrios against Batir Akhmedov. Barrios, I think this might be, actually it might be a 140-pound clash for the WBA regular 140-pound belt. I'll get the full details on that, but I don't think they've officially announced it yet. But Barrios is somewhat entertaining, decent fighter on the rise right now, so he's worth watching. Also, we'll see John Molina Jr., former world title challenger, taking on former world title challenger Josecito Lopez. John Molina coming off a controversial loss to Omar Figueroa back in February. That was a fight a lot of people thought he won. Josecito Lopez coming off of a majority decision loss to Keith Thurman in January. And these 2 guys are just 2 straight chuckers right here. I can't wait to watch this fight. It's going to be an entertaining-ass fight against 2 veterans who would just go out there and throw bombs. So I think that should be fun. The co-feature is going to be great. You got the WBC super middleweight title, that's 168, on the line when champion Anthony Durrell, he's the current 2-time world champion, he's taking on undefeated former champion David Benavidez. Really, really big fight right here. Durrell's trying to hold on, get one last big win before he retires, and David Benavidez is trying to reclaim his title and show that he's the future of the division. So we're going to see. That's a really, really good fight. And then the main event's going to be badass. You got a IBF and WBC title, welterweight title unification bout as undefeated IBF champion Errol Spence Jr. battles reigning WBC champion Sean Porter. Very good matchup right here between 2 really good welterweights. 2 top, I got Spence at number 2. I got Porter at number 5. Really good matchup. Both guys a win here. It's their career best win, most likely. And I'm just really looking forward to it. Should be good. So, that's the September schedule, guys. Excuse me. Make sure you're paying attention every weekend, pretty much. Outside of the first weekend of the month, you're going to have good fights. But the first week, you got that fight on Thursday night. This Thursday coming up, September 5th. It's going to be a really good fight right there. A lot of good action and a couple of pretty big cards. So make sure you're paying attention. All right, guys, that's it. True Boxing. Been hit with the truth.